Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Most of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. I've got a number of other presentations on my website if you'd like to check those out. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I would love to be a part. I've got a number of great books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear. My book, Perfecting Your Platform. Both of those are on Amazon and Audible if you like to listen to books. And my series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon, volumes 1 through 3. Just go into Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield. All my books will appear. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I've got a great show, and I'm simply calling it, "Our Friend, You Matter." Yes, you do, and I hope you'll stay tuned. I'm going to come right back after the break. Let's talk about it. And thinking about this week's show and having overheard some conversations with a few folks I know pretty well, I was struck once again by the power of words that sink into the heart of everyone and rattle the fragile understanding of one's self-worth. Oh, goodness, it seems to me that words are so many times callously thrown about and offhandedly implied to anyone who will listen that they, the person, are damaged. And believing their pain, they question one eternal truth that has stood the test of time through the ages. And yes, so many good people struggle with the concept of that they matter. Yeah. Our friend, you matter. Everyone listening to my show and those who are actually reading the book, whether it's today or 10 or 50 or 20 years from now, everyone needs to be reminded or be reacquainted with the certainty that you matter. Now listen, I don't know what's going on in your life today, but I do know without a shadow of a doubt that you got value and you matter, and nothing can change that truth. So in our short time together, I want to lay out a few ideas that I want you to pay attention to and really hear Deb's message today. Some of you are reading my blog or listening to my show for the very first time, and others have been with me for years. Yet no matter where you are on the scale of listener loyalty, let me remind you of something you know but may no longer believe. No matter what you think about yourself today, no matter if others have been cruel with their words and actions, you need to see the simple truth that never changes. This truth of your self-worth and the idea that you matter does not change. Not with your emotions, not with your pain or your fear, your loneliness or your darkness. Because when you understand that you matter, that is the light that shines through the storms of life, through the dark of the night, through the bars that you've placed around your heart and mind to give you a sense of protection, albeit its faults, my friend. It is the pure light that gives brightness to your darkness and whispers the age-old truth that will never change. And that is, you matter. You have value, and this world needs you. And if no one else in the world sees it or sees it in you, then you got to trust, believe, and learn to be strong enough to cling to the truth of the matter with all your might and hold on until the morning. I have to say, we are probably headed into a tough time of year for many. The change of seasons, the darker days and nights, the impending holidays are just another reminder of the solitude, emptiness, and loneliness that many people feel in their lives. Social media makes it seem like everybody has somebody but you. Now, you know that's not true, right? Let me just remind you, it is not true. But I also want to remind you, it's better to be alone than with someone who makes you feel alone. All right. See, what's conveniently covered up in this season is the truth that most people are scared, lonely, broken, and broke. But it's how you deal with the truth of these days that will set you free and might just give you a bit of joy. And perhaps this just might be the moment of the rest that you've so desperately needed to heal your body so you can get your life back in order. Commercialism is an amazing drug that is fed to us 24/7 this time of year to keep so many people afloat for just 60 more days until we reach the new year, with all its promises of doing better, losing weight, making more money, getting back off track, whichever track you fell off of, again. Oh, the promise of what is to come for many is an opiate for pain. But it's in those in-between times that so many good people make really poor choices that affect those they leave behind for the rest of their lives. See, the reason I want you to understand this eternal truth of life is that you were put here for a reason. And friend, your job is to figure out why and how and then get to it, because you matter and you're needed. And without you, there would be a void. You know, I have started most every one of these weekly podcast and radio shows these last few years with a series of truth that I firmly believe, whether I encourage you to live your best life ever by using the gifts you've been given, because as a person of faith, I just believe you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And you, my dear listener, have gifts that you've been given. But for many of you, you haven't tapped into them because you took your eye off the prize and you haven't focused on all the good things in your amazing life. And I want to focus on the success in your life with your family, your community, in your job, in our time today. I encourage you to reach your full potential so you can do what you were born to do. As your friend and coach, I care about your success. And as your speech coach, I want you to stop living in silence and let your voice be heard. If you're not living to your full potential, well, let's just be honest. You're not living your best life ever. And that is not acceptable in my book. So, through these years, as I'm kind of winding up this series, I know I've talked about being your best, getting over your fears, and redirecting your life to put you on the right path for success. So here we go. Friends, you've got to know that I have seriously considered my words to you every week, because I have a strong suspicion that in your life, I doubt very many people are speaking truth to you. As your friend, you can trust me when I tell you, you matter. Listen, I wish the world was different. I do wish we lived in a time where people took the time or made the time to show respect and concern for others. But what I've seen is that we're all so busy getting by or putting our own lives in order that many people just do not have the capacity to add anyone outside of their circle. It doesn't make people bad or mean or uncaring. It just means that people may choose the easy route because taking care of number one doesn't leave much time to take care of number, 99 or 100. Now listen, I'm not knocking the idea of taking care of yourself and your family. In fact, for some of you, that might be the greatest gift of love you can show because someone really needs you. Most likely your family. Even the ones you're not crazy about because they're crazy and they wear out your kindness. Still, it's only for a season of love and goodwill. Just try, okay? Just try. Now, if they're crazy, try once and walk away. All right. For those who know they will be standing on the outside looking in because you're not part of someone's circle, let me level with you. You need to make your own circle. Yeah, guess what? Sometimes you've got to invite people to your table. As tough as it is to hear, some listening today are going to need to do some work early to make it through any holiday season. The fact is, every charity I know needs an extra set of hands this time of year, and you may be the right person at the right time to be a gift to someone else in need. I know, shocking. Got it. You, a gift. But I've seen it over and over, and it's amazing how helping others fills your bucket to overflowing and then some. However, it takes action on your part, and you need to schedule early so you don't miss the opportunity to give. It may seem strange that I'm encouraging you to consider giving when you think you've got nothing and you think you don't particularly matter, but you can't run away from the truth. No matter how far you go, it still stands. You matter, and you have a responsibility to figure out how to do something about it, something good, honorable, and kind. I get it's an odd concept to hear what you think about yourself deep down. But frankly, it doesn't matter because you have a narrow view of your field of life. It's all you know. So from an outsider's point of view, let me remind you that people are so much harder on themselves than they ever would be towards others. It's just an odd fact of life. I am simply asking, that you give yourself a break, an opening, a chance to see what I see and what probably many others see. But they don't tell you because of their self-worth issues. As sad as that is, but that's not my story today. Back to my point. Do not let your view of your place in life be dimmed by the darkness around you. Believe Deb when I tell you that you've been chosen and called for a special purpose because you matter. You're enough. And in this season of quietness, friend, rest assured that there is a light that is shining for you in your honor to light your path, because the light of truth cannot be extinguished when it comes to you. Why? I'll tell you why. Because you matter. I'm not sure when the last time somebody told you that, so I figured today was my day. I am always surprised when I meet people who, at the end of the conversation, as hard as it is, actually confess they don't think they matter. That's hard. So I'm going to shout from the rooftop, mountaintop, anywhere that you matter. And I'm going to keep saying it until you finally give it a little space to bloom in your heart. And I hope you'll join me next week and the next week and the next week as we work to build your base for a better day. And just remember, Deb doesn't care what the world says about you. I want you to know I care about you, and I care about you because you do matter. And I believe you can do big things. And I'm going to walk alongside you as we follow your dream for great success together. All right, take care, everybody. Join me next week for Deb Sofield's Encouragement for Your Life. Have a great weekend.